Alright, so this is my first completed run of the Resident Evil 2 remake on hardcore with just a knife. Initially, I thought about doing 60 FPS, but I ended up just sticking with the high frame rate instead. Because of well, it just makes the game faster, not necessarily easier. Because my dodging doesn't change between the bosses, it's pretty much going to remain the same.
Wait here. I'll check it out.
I think the only difference is Birkin 1, I took damage twice when I did it with 60 FPS.
Don't come any closer.
Which I can easily heal off. But anyway, I think this run took me like, it took me like 6 months to get everything down right. But I wasn't really taking it that seriously. I hate getting bitten here, but I didn't feel like resetting. And you get a free heal anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter. Unfortunately, the resolution doesn't look good on my end, but hopefully it looks better once it's actually rendered. I was also going to do it with the alternate outfits of the Sheriff and Elza Walker, but I decided to just go with the traditional.
Can't stop. Gotta keep moving.
This type of run is actually a lot faster. Well, not faster fighting bosses wise, but faster as far as picking up items. Because you don't really need to get anything weapons wise except for knives. And it was actually a lot of fun doing this.
Almost there.
I'm not sure if the resolution or the way it looks is because I lowered my graphics settings so I could max out my frame rates, or if it's just the way the video looks. It might be because it's full screen, I don't know. I decided, like I did before, to do a run I could commentate over instead of a run that I would have to do live commentary for. Because having to repeat yourself over and over is ridiculous. It gets old fast. I guess I'll kind of go over my strategies at certain points.
Focus.
I do collect a lot of heals. This is not a no damage run. Although I think it's possible to do so. It'll be very time consuming. And the boss fights would have to be practiced. At least I'd have to practice them a ton. So I think I get, I get that first aid spray and the other one that's right in the entrance of the RPD.
Hurry! Open up!
Pretty much any heal that's not too far out of the way, I'll pick it up. Just so I have enough for the last boss. Which it turned out I didn't even need for this run. I didn't need that many heals. And I think the A run is actually harder, but I use those boxes back there, and those lockers is a way to dodge those two zombies. When I hit the corners of the boxes, I just cut over to the lockers and right past them.
So nobody knows what
That's the best way to do it. I was supposed to commentate while that was happening, but it's a little too late for that now. I have certain points like that where I use an object or something in the background to decide where I should move. The same thing goes for this upcoming hallway when there's zombies in it. You can use certain corners and positions to just run right past them all. Well, of course, it's not infested yet. And luckily, there's no lickers in here, so you can just run all the way down. I knocked down that body there, so it's not in the way later. I've seen other people do it, and I always wondered why. Because you can run around it. It won't do any harm. And it's clear you only go through that hallway one time. And normally I wouldn't pick up the side pack in this room. But I decided that in order to beat the last boss, I would need more heals than I could bring to the fight without it. So it seemed more prudent to get it. It does waste a little bit of time. But it's not much. It's just in and out. I think I saw a run where that wasn't picked up. With just the base everything. Or sorry, not base everything, just the base the base item slots. And I'm gonna go ahead and board this window up for later. It's important to do this so you can bait the 2 zombies closer to that window. That way they can't grab you when you're going back for the knife and the jack handle, crank handle, not crank handle. I forgot what they actually call it. I think it's just called a tool in the game. It's really a jack handle. And here I'm going to take damage on purpose, or at least I thought I was. That guy apparently just fell down, so. My intent was actually to get in caution so I could run faster. I prefer to keep my keys in the first item slot. That way, I can just open doors without having to move around too much. And it saves a little bit of time.
Clear. It's Marvin. How fast can you get back here?
I was not going for a world record here. And I don't think I'll ever speedrun any game for a world record.
I'm on my way.
It takes a lot of dedication to do something like that. A lot more patience than I have to do so. Based on where she's standing, I went ahead and decided to move this bookcase first. Because what happens is, it looks like she's walking towards this ladder, when in reality, she's really going towards who I think of as Michael. That zombie over there in the corner by the door. Yeah, that's Michael. We'll be seeing him a couple more times. So I forgot to mention that going around instead of taking the ladder makes it so that that zombie that's chowing down in the library doesn't wake up. Of course, the ladder is faster, but it creates a danger later on. Same thing with running by Michael. He'll wake up.
Hey, Marvin, this is bad. I've got zombies everywhere. Marvin? Marvin, are you there?
When I first started playing this game, it seemed really challenging. But after playing it so much, most of the stuff seems sort of trivial. And I guess that's how a lot of speedrunners feel. Making the impossible into the possible. I kind of wish I put the frame rate counter in the corner here, but I guess it's not too important. So I kind of determined that grabbing that valve handle first is the best course of action in that room. Because if you don't, and you get the fuse first, the zombie will be a lot closer to the door, and he may even try to get you. And I've tried out so many strategies, and that's what I'm talking about right there. I use those 2 corners to maneuver around that zombie. But as I was saying, what was I saying? Maybe it'll come back to me. I've tried so many strategies for the beginning of the game and how to do heals and all kinds of stuff. But basically, I ended up going back to my original strategies anyway, so it didn't matter. I literally went full circle, no change, back to my original strat. I didn't expect him to be there, which I should have, because I did see him fall earlier. And that was actually not good. But I think I can bait them all back to that corner. Regardless. Luckily, this is just an A run, so it's not too crazy. It's not a circus yet, but it will be. I think Leon's B run's actually harder. But I'm not sure about that. I guess I'll find out soon though. Because I do plan on doing both his scenarios as well. And inventory management is extremely important. Going to item boxes takes up time. Having to deposit a bunch of items, of course, takes up time. And avoiding that is best if you want to save time. I'm not sure. I think I do a lot more item boxes than I normally would in this run because I didn't expect to complete it anyway. And I was trying to sort of figure out a better strategy for routing the items. Sometimes that female zombie will be on the stairs, and you can dodge her there too. It's not actually that hard to dodge a zombie on the stairs. You just have to position yourself so you can start running before it gets close enough to start the second lunge, basically. Hopefully I can give you an example. Or give an example. Because she might be out there again when I come up. Or she might be at the top of the stairs when I come back. And if not, I'm pretty sure I get at least one good stair dodge later. Near the end of the game. In this room, I used to run at the liquor and then dodge them. But I started getting grabbed too many times. And if you're in caution, you just lose the run. So it turned out not to be worth it to just lose a run right there. You can't give up a knife to fend him off. And if he hits you, you're dead, so you just lose. So if you feel like doing a risky strat, I'd recommend being at least in fine. What I ended up doing after a while is trying to run around the pillar, and that didn't really work out super well because I'd get hit sometimes. I'd say it's about 60-40. And I didn't like that either. Those odds are not good. And so then I just started running around the edge of the room, and that seems to work. Just kind of skirt the edge and then cut straight across to the pillar, and the liquor should never be able to hit you. I used to use that item box, but turned out it was really unnecessary. I think I completed the game with no item boxes to Leon, but it wasn't that easy. Inventory management is hard without those boxes.
Hello? Hello?
And even in Resident Evil 1, where they're not connected on real survival, it's still not hard because the item boxes are there. So I'm not sure if this is the optimal way to cut them. It's just a strategy I've been using. And I know there's a way to dodge around them, but it's never worked for me. And it might only be a 60 FPS thing or something. I don't know. I don't know all the details. But here I just go ahead and take the damage so I can save one knife for later to fend off an Ivy. There's only one area where I usually for sure get grabbed by them. But that's for later.
This way.
I think Leon's shotgun does actually minimal damage compared to other weapons against that boss. I think I saw that in a video or something. But I don't actually play the game with guns anymore.
It won't move.
In Resident Evil 3, you can beat the flamethrower nemesis in like a minute with a grenade launcher and a couple grenades. Even on Nightmare. I haven't unlocked Inferno yet, but hopefully that's coming soon. I really want to do a knife run of that.
Hopefully you'll get to see her again soon.
Also, don't save.
Where's your dad?
That's one reason why this run takes so long. I saw someone else's video where they saved a bunch to do a no damage knife only run.
Both of my parents.
And I don't like that. The fact that he saved.
Over there.
I don't know, to me it's like cheating.
It's closed.
Unless you really need to take a break.
Okay. Key card first. And then that asshole gets
But the game is maybe an hour and a half long. 2 hours if you're going real slow. I used to skip this herb, but I figured out that having the protection, the shield, I don't know what it's actually called, but that little armor is very useful in hardcore. You might be able to go to caution in standard and assisted, but in hardcore you pretty much go straight to danger every time. And you can die while you're still in caution. So it's definitely worth it to just take a couple extra seconds and grab this kind of stuff. And I'm not worried about the zombies in this room because they're too slow to get you. Even on B scenario, you can run right past them. And that's the case with most zombies and other enemies that either have to stand up or burst through a wall or something. They give you plenty of time to get away from them. So my strategy in those situations is to try and get past them before they can block me. Because that's a major issue I have, is getting body blocked by enemies that you should be able to slip right past. Because I guess Claire has some... Claire's shoulders are broader than they appear. She's probably got Leon's character model or something. So I've been stuck in some odd locations. But of course it's a video game, so there's no mechanic for turning yourself at a different angle to move past an enemy. And they probably didn't think of that. It might not even make sense for the game, for all I know. So I actually forgot to... No, I don't think I forgot to do it, actually. Normally I open it sooner, but I figured out that I didn't need to open my inventory until now. And I probably could have waited to even do this and throw away that key. But I'm pretty sure it just occurred to me there that maybe I should do this. And these portable safes can be ridiculous sometimes. And of course I forget. If I start to solve it too fast, I'll forget the order. So it's better to make a few mistakes at the beginning. But I just completely bungled this one. This is probably one of my slowest safes. And I also tried looking at the lights on occasion, but that just confused me even more, so I gave that up. I've had safes where it took literally like 5 seconds. You just go up one side and down the other and it's solved. Or you go down one side and up the other and it's solved. They're that simple sometimes. Now, this is actually way longer than I expected. Was that like a full minute? So there's definitely a lot of areas that I could save time on if I wanted to go back for another run. I consider the high frame rate to be kind of cheating, but I don't know. I'm not really sure what to make of it, because it seems unfair, but at the same time, I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me. But you don't need really much here. I deposited both my heals instead of just one, because there's a green herb coming up. So basically I can collect another full heal on the way. And I want two, in case I get hit by the tyrant. Or some other unforeseen events happen. Like a zombie bites me, or the liquor in that hallway smacks me before I can get to the knife, or after I get it. And I'm glad they made it so you can examine the items before you use them like that. Very handy. So this, the attic, I'm not sure what it's actually called, I think of it as the attic, is hit or miss for me. Sometimes the zombie gets me, sometimes I dodge him. It depends on if he double or single lunges though. Single lunges throw me off. Oh, I guess he's not even there. But anyway, single lunges throw me off a lot. Because I always expect the double. But I think it depends on your range from the enemy. If you're too close, they'll double lunge. If you're too far away, they won't. And here I just sort of peeked to see what was going on, and I was like, oh, that was a mistake. I should have waited. And I don't know what causes him to hide behind that door, but it's annoying. And he rarely does it. I'd say once in maybe every 4 or 5 runs, he's somewhere where it's kind of tricky to get away from him, like behind the door or just sort of chilling close to it. But it's always somewhere where you can't just peek out and see him. This part's really easy. First thing you want to do is flip the switch right here. Turn the lever, whatever you want to call it, doing it. And then you can just stand in this corner and wait. Once that zombie in front takes a full step, boom, we can run. Because she should be close enough to not cut you off at the pass right there. I've been cut off by her before because I moved too early. Sometimes she'll walk into that wall instead, so she won't move anyway, and you have to dodge her. And then you're sort of sandwiched between the two of them. They got a 2-pronged attack. But I don't know. I'd say it's not that hard to get away from no matter what. That's one of the easier dodges in the game.
Jesus, stay back!
And Mr. X, for me, used to be hit or miss. I think I've gotten a lot better at evading him. I used to use a different strat, like luring him outside, but I figure that's a waste of time since you can just run past him if you bait an attack. And I'm getting that healed to replace the other one I lost. This way, if I get hit, it don't have to be twice, and then I can heal back to caution and run fast. I'm not 100% sure if the super speed is a real thing, but from what I understand, it is. And this room, I don't need to worry about the zombies in here yet. I might later, but I'll explain that when we get there. So for that liquor, you gotta sort of get behind him. If you don't get behind him and let him swing before you run in the doorway, there's a chance you could get hit. It doesn't always happen, but it's happened to me enough to know better. And here I kind of wish you could just throw the key away because it's useless now. And it would actually save an inventory slot. I don't even know. This is it's so easy to get away from Mr. X. I sometimes think of him as Mr. Flex because he's so damn strong. Strongest man in the world. In this room, sometimes there's zombies on both sides, but usually there's only one. And you can just pick the other side. So what I like to do is try and run past that first little aisle. And then if I don't see the zombie there, I turn into it. But if I do, then I go to the second aisle and run past. There's Michael. Hi, Michael. And running past the second time, or sorry, on the second side, if there's 2 zombies, you just gotta dodge the other one. Or take the hit. In this room, I don't care if I get hit at this point. I have my shield. I'm not in caution anyway. I just need to get that bookcase moved before Mr. X comes in. Because that'll make it nearly impossible. I figured that when I was trying the B scenario and Mr. X is in the room, while you're trying to move those bookshelves, it's very difficult to do with him there. And I go ahead and pick this heal up early and just hope that this zombie doesn't get me later. If you don't pick it up then, he'll just be waiting right beside it anyway. So you have to dodge him somehow. And that always seems like the easiest route. I've forgotten that gear a bunch of times. I've forgotten to put it in the top a bunch of times. And usually I'll just give up the run right there. But there have been times where I was like, it doesn't matter. It's only I don't know how many seconds. I want to say it's like less than a minute. But I don't have a very good mental timer when I'm trying to focus, I guess. So now we gotta get past Mr. X once more. Maybe. He might not even be there. Sometimes he's not. I'm not sure what determines where he goes. I used to think it was just enemies. Like if you aggro enemies, he can hear them or something. But that might not be the case. And I figured out that just dropping down here is a lot easier than going back through the attic a long time ago. Someone else mentioned that, and I saw it in their video, and in my mind I was thinking, why didn't you already know this? Oh, and here I wasn't paying attention at all. That was really dumb, because I should have just dodged him, but I was actually thinking about something else. And he kind of surprised me when I ran into him. My mind was not on the game. I have to be wary of that in the future. I forgot that was even in there. So basically all we have to do now is get back to the cell. I guess it's the cell in the chief's office. But it probably doubles as his own private bathroom or something. When there's no one in it. Oh, and we get to meet the sick man. In about, I don't know, 30 seconds. This puzzle's kind of easy. Just gotta line up the currents. I've been trying to figure out the most optimal way to do it. I'm not sure if that's it or not, but I think it's the closest I've come so far. I'm not sure why I left the cutscene running, but I probably had to go to the restroom or something. I don't remember. This puzzle's super easy too. All you really have to do is take the first block and move it over twice. I used to take there's a double star block. It's a strategy I borrowed from someone else. That one right there, and place it at the front first, but I like this better.
What is this?
Man, I feel kind of bad for Sherry. She's got to be traumatized after all these events. She's probably damaged for life. Especially this whole Chief Irons thing. Man. But I'm sure there's more terrifying moments. This has to be one of the scariest. Even though this section is literally just filler. I see no other reason for it to be here.
That must be the door out of here.
I'm a bit tired. It's been a long day for me.
It's him.
It's probably gonna get even longer. So I've always considered like how Sherry actually got away from this grown man.
Help! Somebody, please!
And there's a few reasons. For one, look at him. He's fat. He probably can barely run. He probably can't move very fast without a lot of effort. And he probably doesn't have very good cardiovascular endurance for running. So, yeah. He's already out of breath by the time he gets to the top of the stairs. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure he's fairly confident that he can catch her because she's a child, but he's wrong. Anyway, this section is really easy. That's why I call it filler.
Doors locked.
It's literally just there to take up time. It's a timed event. There's nothing else you can do except wait it
Where
out.
are you? Show yourself.
Now, I've run into him before by accident.
The longer it
So
takes
here
me
I'm
to
extra
find
careful
you,
not to do that
the
because
worse
he
it's
will
gonna be.
catch you. And then you can kind of hide in this corner. I was actually extra careful here not to get caught because for me that's kind of embarrassing. I usually never fail this part. I think I failed it once in the last 3 or 4 months, and that's doing attempts almost daily.
Oh God.
Well, at least 2 or 3 attempts daily that I make it this far. And once he swings his light to the left, you can just our left. You can just move on over here behind this basket.
God damn it.
And then he's gonna swing his light to the left again. Right there, and once it straightens, boom, you're good. This part of the game's over now. You can kind of chill. I'm aware that you can stand up earlier than when he gets to the books or whenever he knocks them off the shelf here, but I don't know what that timing is, so I usually don't try to risk it.
Please.
This is your last fucking chance. Show yourself. Now.
That's how you know he's getting desperate. He's probably in a lot of pain because he has acid all over his face.
It burns.
Once that happens, you can just stand up. Guaranteed there. And also, I'm not sure if that's the safest way to get acid off your face.
Fuck is my key?
He should have a, what do you call it? One of those iron stations or something in his office if he's got all those chemicals.
Hurry. Hurry.
Well, that's just me thinking. As if he worked in a power plant or something. Or some kind of chemical warehouse. It's probably not that common to see an eye wash station outside of areas where there's chemicals. And I'm sure a chief's office isn't a place where you normally find such things.
Good to see you again, Claire.
Just you.
Maybe there's not even a restroom in there. What is that little room? I thought it might be a small cell, but I guess not. I wonder what it's for if it's got a lock like that. You know what? It probably doesn't matter. And that's I don't think that's the chief's office anyway. Actually, I don't remember. It is. Oh, he was at the orphanage, okay. I guess I kind of jumbled that stuff up in my mind. That's why. You probably wouldn't find an eye wash station at an orphanage. I didn't mean to say the chief's office that entire time.
You again?
So here, I don't know about Mr. X. Sometimes I can bait him successfully. Sometimes I can't. But if you can't get the bait on him, all you have to do is run around him in a circle, and he'll do a Superman punch, and you're safe. Just make sure you don't get hit by it. Just keep running in that circle. I wish I had an example of that, but I don't. For these 2 zombies here, this is like the easiest, or one of the easiest things to do. All you have to do is just sit right next to the fence. That guy will either lunge to the fence or walk out, and either one's fine. Because you can dodge him like that. If he runs into the fence, as soon as he's getting into that corner, you gotta move. You can't give him time to recover. He will only do a single lunge into the fence. So he won't double lunge at you unless you give him time to recover from that single lunge. For this zombie, all you have to do is walk. She won't aggro if you walk. I'm not sure where that point starts, and I haven't really played around with it too much, just because I wanted to get the run finished. but I think it's a little further than where I started to walk. Dodging the dogs is kind of tricky, but I just zigzag everywhere and hope they don't hit me. It doesn't always work, but it does for the most part. And I'm sure you can run in a straight line or do other stuff, but it just, I don't know. I just do what works for me, I guess. So I went ahead and picked up this heal here. Sometimes I don't pick it up, but I was afraid of getting hit by the dogs or the zombie that's on the bus. The dogs on the other side of the bus are actually scarier because they can hit you right when you're coming off and you can't really do anything about it. This guy is very easy to dodge. I don't know what angle you have to come off to not get hit by the dogs, or maybe maybe if they're not aggro they won't do anything, but I assume they already are because the other dogs are barking and stuff. But I can't really apply real life logic to a video game.
Hello? I have the pendant!
And that's just thinking of how dogs hunt and are usually in packs. At least wild ones. Especially those, they gotta be hyper aggressive with that virus.
Sherry? Where are you?
Claire!
Sherry?
And this part, I don't know. I don't really see the point of it. Yeah, Mr. X is coming, but you don't have to do anything except run away from him.
Go, go, go!
Claire! It's behind you!
Don't stop!
Hurry!
Keep going.
Claire?
Now this is where the game actually starts to get scary. I used to not know that you just jump straight off to the direction you're supposed to go. So I would like turn around and run to the walls and stuff. And then one day I did it by accident. I was like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do.
Smell like shit.
Felt like a dummy. So I'm coming up on a dodge here that I consider to be easy. I can't say that I've never been hit, because I have, but it's rare. Kind of just want to make a Z. First, I'm going to run straight through the door and then just zigzag between them. Sometimes they'll lunge and you can usually dodge them anyway. Sometimes they won't. I was afraid he would get me because he was really close there. Usually,
Hold on, Sherry. I'll be right there.
if they lunge at you, they're not that close after. And I'm getting this heal here to prepare myself for what's coming up in the sewers. These G-Adult things, I don't know, I'm not sure their official name. It's probably, maybe G-Adult, maybe. They're really annoying. And I always get grabbed by at least one of them. I think I made it out of the sewers one time without getting grabbed by any of them. Maybe. And I'm not even sure if that's true. I can't remember a time when I haven't been grabbed. And the tricky thing is having to bait out their attacks and stuff. Because they have a variety of moves, unlike the zombies, and it's sometimes, well, usually they'll pick the best one for the situation. If you're close, they'll try to grab you. If you're at a certain range, they'll try to smack you. If you're even further away, they'll make babies. There might be an example of that, but I'm sure everyone knows what it is. This was a really bad dodge. I've dodged both those zombies without getting hit on several occasions. And here I was like, since they're already both down, I'm gonna get that herb. But that was a mistake, because this guy got me a second time. That was really frustrating. Usually you can, if one of them, usually if the zombie in the vest gets knocked down, you can just run past him and get the herb anyway without getting grabbed. Because it takes them so long to get up. But I think I hesitated too much there. so he got up quicker than usual. Or he didn't get up quicker, I was just too slow moving. I think I had a moment where I was like, should I get the herb or not? And then I just went for it.
Okay. This is
Here we go. This is the fun part of the game. Just kidding. I hate it. I think this is the only section I really dread, actually. Because I know I'm going to get hit. Yeah, I think I may have figured out the secret to baiting these guys. But don't quote me on that, because I probably don't know what I'm talking about. And I forgot to mention that you get a lot of extra heals in this area. There's even, well, I consider it to be a lot. I think 2 is a lot. Maybe even, I think you might even get 3. 3 for sure if you count Birkin, the one you get right before him. And this is a fairly easy part to do regardless of what scenario you run. You just gotta be quick enough not to let that zombie out of the cage once you get that plug. And on A scenario, it's cakewalk. On B, another zombie will be there, but it's still not too hard to get away from them. If you're trying to get the spark shot, that might be a different story. But I'm not worried about that, obviously. I went ahead and healed here, just in case anything stupid happened. I was deathly afraid of losing the run while I was in caution. And I'm pretty sure I started keeping myself at full health once I got past this point too. Because it's too risky to just die on caution. To know you can die on caution and not do anything about it when you can. I think this guy gets me, yep. And then he grabbed me and I was pretty furious. Because usually if they attack you, you can just move right past them right after that. Just like the Tyrant. If he does that thing where he scoops you up and throws you on the ground, you can just run right past him when he's done, when the animation's over. But I got stuck in a position that I thought was weird there, so of course he got me. And this, you can actually jump down while he's still swinging his arm. But there's a chance you'll get grabbed if you time it wrong. So I didn't bother after, because if Claire doesn't jump off the ledge right away, that means you missed your opportunity. And if you jump down after that, you might get grabbed. There's a zombie to the left here, but I didn't bait him properly, and I failed to bait him properly there too, but it didn't matter. These 3, this is one of the most annoying dodges in the game. If you're going for no damage, I think this is probably one of the harder sections. And I wonder if a no damage run counts in Ivy's grab. Probably not as damage, but I don't think it'd be fair to call that no damage. Although it might be. And I'll probably change my mind later when I'm actually, if I ever do decide to do a knife only no damage run, I'll probably consider it not cheating. I wonder if okay, so I wonder what a knife only run on assisted would look like with that high frame rate. Anyway, here we're gonna get another knife, but first we gotta get past all these zombies. I use several points here to make them move in a pattern that I want them to move in, and then I didn't do it here. Usually I'll turn and make sure that other zombie came out of the door, because you can hear it rattling in the background. But if you don't let him burst through, he might be in there, or he might be too close to the door, so that you can't just get right past them. You gotta get that plug. And this guy, there's like a column thing in front of you before you jump off that ledge. What I do there is I kind of try to center myself on it a little bit and then slide down, because when that G-adult thing comes out, it'll stop at a certain distance and start spitting out babies like you just saw. And this is what I'm talking about right here. I didn't wait. And I probably thought of that as soon as I was running down the stairs and didn't go back. And when those G-adults are spitting out those little baby things, you can run to their right, because when they swing, they do a wind up to the left and then go to the right. But it's your right, not their right. So you want to run to your right. If they start doing that, it should be guaranteed you get past them, no problem. I thought about jumping down there, but I decided it was a bad idea. I was nervous here because I usually lose to G2, and I'm low on, I don't have that as many heals as I'm supposed to, because I got damaged a bunch. Where I normally wouldn't get damaged. So yeah. I decided to be a little more careful. I don't think I full healed here, because Birkin can't, well, Birkin can one-shot you, but he'll one-shot you no matter what if he does it. And I'm pretty sure I was trying to strategize later on what to do with that blue herb and trying to justify why I picked it up, but I don't think I'd actually make it useful. I guess we'll see. But we're on to what I can now consider to be one of the hardest bosses in the game. I don't know if it's this one or Tyrant that actually angers me more, but I think it's this one. For a while I thought I was so good that I would never lose to him again, and then all of a sudden one day he just starts mollybopping me out of nowhere. Whether it's that stupid grab he does, it's a one shot no matter what, or if he slaps you while you're trying to run past the crane and it's coming. Because if he slaps you in that, while that animation's happening, you're pretty much done for unless you're already right by the panel. And even then, he's probably next to it too if he hits you, so you won't be able to get away from him that easily. You still gotta wait for the crane, because it has to get ready every time it moves. And that's one big flaw with just knife-only strategy on this part, is that the crane, you literally have to just wait on the crane. You can't just damage them. And a lot of times, which you'll probably see, the first time you move the crane, the very first time, it takes forever to swing all the way out so you can activate it. So I try to spend a little extra time baiting them. That way I don't have to run back and forth too many times. And here, all you gotta do is stand by these barrels and he can't get you. It's literally that simple. I'm sure you can dodge all his swipes though. And once he starts to roar like that, you can just move over, so burst through the door. But the thing is, sometimes when he's walking around up on top, on the roof, it sounds like he's banging on the door, but he's not. I've fallen for that and gotten smacked before. I don't know how much damage each one of those claw swipes does, but it doesn't seem to be enough to drop you a status unless you're already low. And I find it best to keep the knives equipped here. I used to unequip them, but I realized that it seemed like he was doing his instant death attack more, because if he grabs you while you have a defense item, you can get out of it. So I think he's less likely to grab you when when you have a defense item equipped. But I'm not sure about that. It's like a lot of other things. I don't have enough data to prove it. But anyway, so what you want to get him to do is either do that or jump at you. And as he's landing or doing that swipe, you got to hit the button either well, you want to hit it before he's landing. I think that's how you get that result. If you do it right, he'll do that roar thing. Then he'll ready his claw or whatever, I guess. Wind himself up. And once he starts to run, all you have to do is run towards that small arm. Stay out of his range and run towards the small arm. There'll be another example here in a second. Hopefully I said that right. I kept wanting to say big arm. And it's sometimes really hard to bait out those attacks. You have to face them at a certain distance and then start running away. But it's hard to determine when he's actually looking at you because of those eyeballs. And I was happy about this because I knew I had him. Not the whole thing, but the second one. Look at that. He roars. Then I do this at the edge of the platform. Just run towards the small arm and then right around him. He's never grabbed me while I was doing that. And you don't have to get that deep to make him swing, which is what you want him to do here. But I did it because I didn't know better at the time. Just baiting out another swing to keep him there. And now I'm going to try and bait him one more time. And here, I'm not sure if I get him or not. I think I was kind of nervous and I didn't want to get hit. Oh, I took the hit anyway. And here, he did the roar this time. Usually if he hits you there or something, he won't do it. I literally thought that was the end of the run. Because he hit me. It's like, I knew I shouldn't have done that. It was a bad idea. But it worked out.
I'm so sorry, Sherry.
And this is where, for me, the run is like, okay, I can actually do this. That boss is so cheap. Because you can die. There's two ways you can die instantly, like I mentioned. And you got hit him with the crane 3 times. It's kind of a tall order.
Wait.
Especially in such a confined area. But at least they gave you that option. I used to think the game was stacked against knife-only runs, but it turns out it might not be. And it seems that way because the knives have health, they have endurance, or I guess you call it durability. They break very easily, especially if you use them as a defense item. I think if it has less than half health, it'll just break.
Oh, good.
That might be wrong. There's a limited number of them. You have to go out of your way to get quite a few as well.
There's no turning back.
Well, not quite a few. I'd say you have to go out of your way to get 2 of them. Maybe 3.
This tram is
but I don't think 3. I think it's just 2.
Do not exit until the final destination.
Alright, so this is where the inventory management for me got a little trickier because I'm not used to... at this point, I really wasn't used to making it this far. And I know there's only one other side pack in the game that I can pick up. And it's actually too far out of the way to go get. I take that back though. I guess when you come back to get Sherry later on, you can do it. Unless those other doors are locked.
Enjoy your visit.
I didn't think of that until just now. But this part of the game is actually only made hard by the Ivies. You can't lose. You have to keep all your knives except for just one, and that'll be the defense knife. If you don't, you won't have enough for the last boss. And I take 2. I need 1 for defense, and then the other one will be to cut the Ivies so they can't get up when I'm running past them, which will be seen in a bit. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do here, so I decided not to take any risks and went ahead and healed. This is a very easy little section. All you have to do is run past all the zombies in the room. There's nothing in here to pick up anyway. Maybe if you're on a normal run, sure, you could waste time. So now there's two strategies for this guy that I like to use. In the B scenario, I use the other one, but in this one, I think I just run past him. I don't really care what he does, because I'm not coming back here ever again. That's just like a lot of rooms you have to come back to. It doesn't matter what happens in them, as long as you get out. So I'm gonna go invade him in here. Oh, and I failed, unfortunately. I actually ran into him by accident instead of running the other way, which I do quite a bit. I don't know if I actually healed earlier or not, now that I think about it. I wasn't really paying attention, and it looked like I did. I don't know.
Dr. Lee, your presence is urgently requested by Chief Cartwright in the East area.
I had something else to say too, but it just escapes my mind at the moment. I don't know if it was even important. So let's see. I don't remember. May have been about that signal modulation thingy. This room here, all you have to do is just run all the way through the room. Ivies don't matter at the moment. They will later though. This is a scary room for me. I have managed to get out of here without being grabbed, but it's rare, so I prefer to have that defense knife for the room. Alright, here, so I used to, after I did this puzzle, which is about to come up, I used to just try to bait this Ivy and run by him, but I've been grabbed too many times, and it's not worth the risk, especially if I can't give up any knives. So we're gonna do a different strategy. This is, I want to say it's one of the easiest puzzles in the game, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's not that easy.
To match cartridge capacity.
If anyone decides to watch my B-run, you'll see what I'm talking about. I think I spent like 5 minutes on that puzzle, maybe longer. Just messing around with it. And not thinking at all, just trying to do it without thinking. Because I knew they were different, I just didn't know how different. So all you gotta do here is just run up these stairs and, well, normally I'd wait for him to move closer, but he's already right on the stairs, so it doesn't matter. Once he gets to the base, we're just gonna run by. And down here, this is a section I take a lot of damage on, normally. There have been a few times where I skated by with minimal, because I usually get hit at least once. So we're just gonna bait this licker. I don't even care if I get hit at the moment. Sometimes he licks you, sometimes he'll jump instead. And I think I get at least one good stair dodge here. But I'm pretty sure it's only one if I get it. And you don't want to get hit by the body. I did though. But there's a way you can avoid it. Or I guess I should say it can be avoided. Sometimes if you get lucky, that guy right there will just be crawling. Here I just use the edge of the staircase to bait him around. And you notice I dodge him at the top of the stairs, and that's because, for me, that's the easiest place to dodge them. You can actually be on the stairs yourself when you start to dodge, but you need to get off them so you can outrun the zombie. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. I'm not sure if their speed is affected by the stairs, but I'm pretty sure the player character's speed is. And of course the liquor's out, so, and there's 2 of them, so we're gonna walk here. And I'm trying my best not to aggro this zombie, but I don't know. I don't think it worked very well. Yeah. I hate it when they're crowded up like that. If it was just one, you could sort of weave around a little bit, get away from these liquors, but unfortunately that's not the case here. And it's made a little bit scary by the fact that I'm gonna have to run, and I know it. I have to run. I have to run every time. I'm sure you can get out of there without doing it, but it will be way time consuming. And they're all right here blocking my path, unfortunately. So I didn't mean to take that bite. Or sorry, what I meant to say is I meant to take the bite because I thought it wouldn't aggro the liquors, but it did anyway. There have been times where a zombie can grab you, and if you're far enough away, they won't aggro.
5 new messages.
Whew. Damn. Should have packed my parka.
Cooling complete.
And here we're just gonna mosey on down to the last knife we're gonna pick up in this little lab section. Okay, I remember where the other knife came from now. I was like, I don't remember having the other knives, but I should have. Well, it'll be 3 again. But if you're lucky here, there won't be anything blocking your path to this door. All I gotta do now is make it back to the exit, and I'm good. Yeah, I think... Oh, I didn't deposit it because I didn't need to, I'm sure. And luckily, she's not paying attention. There's no enemies nearby, so I can just walk right out. This is the best case scenario. But once you get into that first room where you do the cooling thing with the solution, all you gotta do is walk. It shouldn't be that hard. Yeah, I was kind of scared here, like a little bit nervous about him, but it turned out not to be a real threat. Because I'm not 100% sure on what range the IVs can lunge at you from. And sometimes it seems like they come from really far away.
Dispensing.
Alright, so here I'm going to go ahead and cut. If there's any IVs close to the door here, I'll cut them. Cut the orange orbs they got, so they can't get up. I've cut him before, but it's risky, so I'd rather dodge them. Because once they fully stand up, they can just instantly grab you. And usually you can run past this guy while he's still getting up. Because it looks like he's right next to the to that corner there, but I'm pretty sure when he gets up, he backs up a little bit, so it doesn't make a difference. I'm not sure if I even equipped the other knife here. I hope so. Yep, there we go. And then I panicked there for a second. I was afraid the other Ivy would lunge. But I've noticed that if one Ivy's lunging, the other one won't do it. And I think there's a short recovery period at the end where you can still maneuver around them, around the other Ivies if one's already lunging, if that makes any sense. So if one is in mid-lunge or recovering from a lunge, the other one won't move. It'll just walk around. I should have said it won't lunge. It'll just walk around.
Find that antiviral
This is the last use of this signal modulation thingy. And it's really easy. It's 2 quick movements of the joysticks, or 1 on each joystick, and you're good. And this boss used to be a major sticking point for me. It might even still be. I don't know. The last time I fought him, the last 2 or 3 times I fought him, I beat him. And I'm pretty sure I got a good pattern. Here I was trying to decide what to do with my items. I didn't know what was going on anymore. It's like, do I keep this? Do I take that? Because I know there's a red herb in the other room. Oh, I guess I did make it useful. And then I grabbed this one too for some reason. I don't know. Oh, that was actually a good idea. I always try to bring the maximum heals to this fight and the maximum knives because it's scary and it's easy to lose. And I'm never 100% certain how many knives it's going to take to down him or kill him. Even though I should probably know. I think I made up my mind at this point. I hope so anyway.
Thank God. The antiviral agent. Gotta get back to Sherry.
So the first thing we're gonna do as soon as the cutscene's over is run up and start and cut the eyeball on his knee. It should go away in 2 hits. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3 that time. And then I try to get that eye on his back. It's the hardest one to hit. But you can get it. You can get all the eyes. And what I'm trying to do here is bait that attack out so I can get the eyeball first. And once that's done, I want to go for that shoulder eye last. My goal in the first part of the run, or the first part of the fight, is to just get that back eyeball. And I think that's the quickest way to do it. I'm still trying to bait the attack. And there we go. I think it takes 5 cuts the first time. Although I'm pretty sure the health of the eyes increases over time, or after they get damaged or whatever. And you can really swing away here. I think I might even broke the knife. Yep, that was a mistake. Oh, I didn't break it. Okay, I thought I heard it break. I was trying to decide what to do, like, which knife do I want? And it's good to keep those extra knives for defensive purposes in case you need them later, not during the fight. You shouldn't need any defense items during this fight. If he starts to grab stuff like that, get it far away and try to position yourself so that when it hits, the fire won't trap you. Because when that fire is burning and you run into it, it will slow you down. I thought I was dead there, actually. I was trying to cut him here, but see, Claire gets burned right there. During the first phase of the fight, he doesn't really do anything too crazy. But once you knock him down once or do enough damage, he starts to go berserk, just swinging all over the place, doing all kinds of random stuff. So you want to try and get him to do that. Or bait out another ground pound from him. Or a jump. So he has 3 different moves you can hit him off of. And when he starts doing that, you know you pretty much got the ground pound. Ground pound. Didn't have enough time to run around him that time. I'm not sure if he gets faster or not, but it really seems like it to me. Baiting the jump. And I'm not sure what causes that jump, but in my estimation, it's just probably being at a certain distance and facing him, and maybe running away like before. I was like, where do I go? Where do I go? Because he was too close to me. I wasn't sure what to do, so I just tried to dodge it, and I failed. It looks like he tried to throw it in front of me there, though, so I probably could have just dodged it by going the other way. Probably made a funny face there. Hopefully not. So when he does that jump, what you want to do is actually try to run behind him, like run past him. Because if you try to run away from him, he'll usually get on you anyway. I got lucky there though. And that was bad luck. It would have been worse luck if he'd killed me with that swing. And part of this fight's kind of tricky because if you're not paying attention, he'll do that before you get a chance to get close to him. And once he does that, you're free to just cut away forever, basically, until he throws this thing on the ground. I'm trying to position myself around him so he can't get me with it. I think I get 2 more slices here, but I didn't go for it. And this phase, he just goes completely nuts. I'm not sure if there's even a pattern to it anymore. To me, it just seems like he swings everywhere at once. And he's so big and takes up so much room that it's really hard to stay away from him. His arms are super long. And it doesn't seem like it, but it's true. But it's also like the magnetic grabs some of these enemies seem to have. Like, it's just ridiculous the range they can get you at. I'm not sure what that signifies. And I hate the way it looks like you're close to him and you're not. I was really scared of dying here. I thought I was finished, actually. But I think this is the last time I fought him that was really hard. I was thinking this is my run, and I was panicking. Because by this point I had my strategy for the last G form. I knew what to do. At least I thought I did. And I was right about that. But we'll get to that. It was like he wouldn't do any attacks that would give me an opening here. Or if he did, it would be like that, where I couldn't really get close to him. Oh wow, okay. I thought I was in danger when I exited that, but I guess not. Maybe it was a different run. I didn't even need the other first aid spray. I was trying to figure out which knife I wanted to equip there.
Gotta get back to Sharon.
Like, I knew I wanted a low one, but I was just like, I guess I was just kind of tripping. Like, wow, I actually did that. And I didn't need all my heals. It's probably my exact thoughts. Can't believe I kept any heals. And I think at this point I knew I had enough healing items to get to at least run the timer down on Birkin on G4. But I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to cut him enough to kill him. That's one of the major problems I had before when I get to him, is not having either time running out, or I didn't actually have enough knives to finish him off, and I didn't know it.
Sherry, can you walk faster? I don't want to rush you, but we have to go.
Use the central elevator to evacuate immediately to the bottom level train platform. Attention. Self-destruct sequence initiated.
Let's get the hell out of here.
More long filler.
To the bottom level train platform. Attention.
I wish they had made this a cutscene. But I guess it doesn't make sense for it to be one, because there's never another elevator ride where you're in a cutscene that I can think of. You always have control of the character.
Claire?
Yeah?
Thank you for being so nice to me. For helping me. I'm really glad I met you.
I'm really glad I met you too, Sherry. But save your thanks until I get you out of this place.
I don't know, I didn't really feel like playing with the knife too much during this run. I think I actually, I need to give my fingers a rest. I had a couple cramps yesterday. I wish they'd give you more knives, since they took away the fact that the one knife is infinite. Or, yes, they took away an actual knife to use. But the thing about that is, they just made the infinite knife, an unlockable weapon, which is cheating. When they should have put it in the game. Just put it in the game like Resident Evil 3. I can't remember what I was thinking there. I was like, what do I do? Pretty sure I was trying to figure out how to manage my inventory. Obviously, that was what I was doing. So for this part, all you gotta do is forget about the items in this room. They don't matter.
Minutes until detonation.
All you need to do is run to the door. They can't get you.
Sherry, run!
Sherry is unimportant. She literally doesn't matter during any section where she's with Claire. You can do whatever you want. Oh, right. Okay, I was trying to think of how to pick up the herbs. Because I knew there's the red and the green, but I was like, do I really want to get them? Of course I do. Maybe I was trying to figure out if I had a blue herb to go with it.
Hold on.
Okay, so here,
Sherry, what are you...
these ivies are annoying, but you can actually cut them when they're first starting to get up. I stole this strategy. I used to just run around.
Damn it, your timing sucks.
There's one down, and that's all you really have to do. Knock down the one, because the other one you can just run away from. But I try to cut the other one. Broken knife. I had to make sure quickly that I had a broken knife equipped. I was afraid. I was actually afraid at this point that I would lose a knife to him and lose the run because of it. And I'm pretty sure I have an additional knife in the item box, and I just gotta wait for Sherry. This actually wastes a lot of time. This little section right here. I don't like it because to me it seems like they're just taking away from the timer on the boss fight. Because you know Resident Evil has to have a boss fight timer, no matter what the game. And I don't know how Sherry gets past as a zombie to this day. How? There's no...
Sherry, you hang
I don't see any possible way. I could understand her getting away from Chief Irons, but that zombie? No way. Those ivies? No way. Here I was like, because you have to have the 2 inventory slots for the, but I don't know what it's called. Whatever you have to pick up. And here I was just a mess. I was like, should I do this? Should I do that? I need another slot. And of course the obvious move is to get rid of the first aid spray. I wasn't sure how many knives I actually needed, and those 2 RGB mixtures right there are enough to grant me a total of, let's see, 2 hits per, plus 2 additional per each first aid spray, and then on top of that I got my initial hit. So 5 hits total, maybe more than that. Oh no, that's actually about 9 hits, I think. I can take 9 hits. Yeah, 9. I think it's 9. Unless I'm thinking about it the wrong way. Okay, so this boss is kind of easy, actually. It might not make sense for me to say that, but he can't really do anything. And if you cut him, all you have to do is run past him. Just run right past him. Don't try to run away from him. Run past him. If you run past him, he should swing in the other direction from you and not hit you. Here I was kind of testing out that strategy, and it turned out to work pretty well. Except for a few cases where I didn't do it right or I didn't try it. Because I think I do try to run away from him at a couple of different points. I'm not sure what he's doing here, but he won't charge or swing. And then finally, there we go. That was a dumb hit. I should have gone the other way instead. And I was like, please don't kill me. What you want him to do is climb. And once he starts climbing, it's pretty much set. Because when he jumps down, he has that recovery period. It's a little bit tricky to get close enough to him to hit him. But you can do it. And once you do, 2 cuts is safe, and then you can run. I think there I was kind of trapped in the corner, though. But it might not be this run, but on other runs, I go for 3 or 4 hits sometimes when I really think I can just, when I think it's an acceptable risk.
6 minutes
And that's usually close to the end of the boss fight. You don't want to take too much damage before then. I didn't mean to break that knife there. It's a waste of time. I gotta watch out in the future. I'm paying attention to my knife health because if you break a knife and it wastes time at the wrong moment, you're just dead. Or you wasted time enough so the boss can recover and maybe you lose to the boss because of that. Climbing is good. And he alternates how he does it. So one time he'll jump on the train and then on the ground, and other time, the other 50% of the time he'll just jump straight on the ground like that. I'm not sure if he does it, if it alternates or if it's just strictly random, but to me it appears to alternate. That was a bad dodge. I think I actually got scared that I was going to lose to this guy. And this is actually my first time beating him, so yeah, I was probably nervous. And of course you have the timer to worry about. That's what makes the fight extra hard. Because the boss, all he does is basically open himself up for damage, for the most part. That's basically how he moves. The only time he's not really vulnerable is when he's doing that. And that's because it takes up so much room that you can't really get close to him. He literally covers every angle around himself. And I always thought this boss kind of looks like Cthulhu. Or what I'd imagine a Lovecraftian monster to look like. Look at it, it's all eyeballs and tentacles and claws. They definitely got the idea for this thing from H.P. Lovecraft. Or at least a Lovecraft-like story. Shout out to H.P. Lovecraft. Broke a knife again by accident. And you see there, I kind of just circled right around him, and he didn't get me. At this point, the only reason why breaking a knife would matter is because you don't want to waste the time. It's the end of the run. The amount of knives don't matter here. You either have enough or you don't. And if you do it wrong, you don't have enough. I forgot to mention, you actually have to hit those eyeballs on his chest for the hit to really be effective. And if you miss too many times, you won't have enough endurance left on your knives to finish him off. And you can kind of tell when he's heavily damaged because the eyeballs on his chest turn red. Once they're all red and you cut them a couple more times, it's over. This, I think, I run the timer out and lost that way before. So this is the first time I beat him, and I'm trying to think of how his eyes look whenever he's near death. But that's it. I think that's basically it. I don't know how exactly red they get. But see how they're mostly red now? Or orange? Dark orange? He's getting there. I really wanted him to climb here. That's what I was thinking. Please climb. Please climb. But he didn't. And then he did. Little trick. And I forgot. Maybe? Yep, okay. This is where he does that. Yeah, so it does look like it just alternates. Wow. I'm lucky I didn't break that knife. He would have for sure hit me. I don't know why she stops and looks at the damn thing while there's a monster right next to her and the knife just broke. Run away. And I couldn't run there for some reason. I don't know why I didn't run. And I was like, I was so scared that I was gonna die here, and this is one of my few chances that I've had to fight this guy. I want to say I got to him like 4 times before this, maybe 5 or 6, and every time I just played like a dummy, so I couldn't beat him. It took me a while to get the patterns down because of that, and that's it. It's over. I was in my mind. I was thinking, is he really dead? Is he really dead? Yeah, he's really dead. Because the eyes come back. Alright, well, thanks for watching this run. Anybody who made it all the way to the end, please check out my other content, check out my Twitch. I'm going to start live streaming, hopefully daily. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but I'm going to try and make an effort to do that. I got other things going on though, so we'll see. But yeah, it's the end. You can see here, I was actually playing on hardcore. Got that S+ rank, no save. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever.